Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a critical, high-energy look at a massive shift happening right under our noses. Look, for any organization building sovereign financial networks or digital infrastructure, this shift completely changes the vendor relationship. We're witnessing a quiet invasion inside banks, logistics networks, and hospitals all over the world. Thousands of AI engineers are literally walking through the front doors of major corporations and setting up shop right inside their operations. So today, we are unpacking the Sigma Frontier Partnership Guardrail Charter to figure out exactly how to navigate this reality without surrendering the keys to your own kingdom. Here is the absolute reality we live in today. The era of the simple API endpoint, it's completely dead, gone. When you engage with an AI provider now, you aren't just buying access to an API endpoint. You are entering a deep operational partnership where their engineers are actually co-authoring your internal code and data pipelines. It's a fundamental rewiring of how business gets done. Okay, let's dive into this. The concept driving this whole shift is called Forward Deployed Engineering, or FDE. Instead of some tech vendors selling you software from a distance, they embed their own people right inside your company to design, build, and operate AI from within your walls. It's wild when you really think about it. It's essentially a quiet corporate invasion, because for massive AI giants, this is the ultimate form of lock-in. It's all about embedding their brains so deeply into your corporate bloodstream that it becomes practically impossible to remove them. Section 1. The Structural Divergence. 3 Motives, 1 Battle.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down the fact that while everyone wants to weave their tech into your operations, their organizational blueprints and ultimate motives are wildly diverging. Just look at the contrast here. The hyperscalers' FDE teams act like gravity, right? Pulling your AI workloads onto their massive infrastructure to guarantee sustained compute demand. Then you have the AI lab, and they want model dominance, making their tech the default brain of your enterprise. But Project Sigma is totally different. Their motive is sovereign orchestration. They want to orchestrate value flows without ever surrendering sovereignty to big tech.
Section 2. The Hidden Risk. When embedded brains leave.
We really need to take a tense, honest look at what happens when you invite an external team into your core systems. Suddenly, they see absolutely everything. They see exactly how your treasury moves. They see the delicate logic behind your fraud heuristics and your subtle compliance thresholds. So, if those embedded brains walk away, what do they take with them? How much of your core competitive advantage now lives entirely inside someone else's institutional memory? It's a terrifying thought.
Section 3. The Solution. The Guardrail Charter. To defend against all this dependency, an entity like Sigma draws a definitive line in the sand using this charter. It's essentially the ultimate blueprint for engaging with embedded AI teams while remaining totally anti-dependency. Chapter 1 emphasizes that your data is not fuel for somebody else's machine. Embedded teams should only ever get masked data fields and encrypted tokens. They only see what they absolutely need to see, while the full corporate organism stays sovereign. These guardrails have to travel with your minimized, encrypted data into their systems, ensuring your protection is tied directly to the information itself. Chapter 2 focuses on intelligence sovereignty. And to be clear, we aren't talking about artificial intelligence here, we mean your institutional intelligence. Look, there is a massive difference between sharing basic implementation details and handing over your protected trade secrets, like your complex architecture or risk frameworks. It's kind of crazy how quickly a vendor's custom solution for you can quietly become a feature they just turn around and resell to your competitors. Your unique intelligence simply cannot be absorbed into a vendor's internal playbook. So the crucial point is right here in Chapter 3, the embedded but governed engineer. Forward deployed teams are incredible accelerants, for sure, but they absolutely shouldn't just roam freely through your entire system. They have to operate in explicitly defined domains with least privilege access. They're there to build, but they must document everything. Because ultimately, the true measure of their success is how gracefully your organization can continue to operate the very second they are gone.
Chapter 4 champions architectural independence. The frontier era of AI is full of incredibly seductive offers from vendors. You've probably heard pitches like, just standardize on our cloud, or build entirely on our model. But the sovereign reality, and what Sigma boldly demands, is a flat-out refusal of this monoculture. It requires a hard commitment to being multi-cloud and multi-model right from day one. An AI partnership can influence your path, absolutely, but it should never own your final destination.
Then there's Chapter 5, the regulator's gaze. As AI handles more and more of your actual workload, regulators are going to start asking much harder questions about who really controls these systems. You can't just point to a shiny new model. You have to prove, definitively, with access logs and decision trails, that these embedded vendor teams operate strictly within your rulebook and not outside it. Accountability always lives with you, not the vendor.
Section 4. The Founder's Choice. Holding the line.
I want to address you directly here, especially if you are building in this space. Underneath all the technical jargon and architecture diagrams, this is a deeply personal, strategic choice you must make before integrating any vendor. The source material puts it so perfectly. Welcome to the frontier, build with everyone, belong to yourself. Forward-deployed engineering is the default future. You should absolutely play in that frontier and welcome the acceleration it brings. But maintaining true sovereignty over your data and your intelligence, that remains entirely non-negotiable.
So, as you architect your next major AI integration, you face a pivotal decision. Will you welcome partnership, or will you blindly surrender the keys to the kingdom? It's your infrastructure, it's your data, and it is your choice. Take control of your AI partnerships before you sign off on them. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.